What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Trady back with another video. And today I'm finna be doing something a little different, as I'm finna be talking about some WWE content. And for those who don't know, I am a huge WWE fan. Now I was contemplating making me a WWE video. As of today, I'm finna be making one right now, as I'm finna be taking a little break from sports, as the NBA season's over with and the NFL season hasn't even started yet. But I'm finna do some more content about WWE. This is not going to be the only video. And today I'm finna be talking about the top 10 most evil heels in WWE history. But before I get started with this video, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. They should be down below in the description box. And without further ado, let's get started with this list. And there's a couple of honorable mentions I'm finna be throwing out. 1, there's The Rock. 2, The Phenom The Undertaker. 3, The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And 4, The Miz. Those are my honorable mentions. And if you think they should be in the top 10, let me know down below in the comment section. Without further ado, let's get started with the list. And coming in at number 10, we got Seth freaking Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins, yeah, he's been doing a lot of diabolical stuff lately. But right now, he's a baby face. But as a heel, he's been doing some of his best work out there. Like, I'm so serious. As Seth Rollins is really responsible for disbanding one of the greatest factions of all time, known as the Shield. He was responsible for that, as we did not even see that coming. As Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, they were in the middle of the ring, and they looked like they couldn't even be touched. But Triple H and Randy Orton came out, and Triple H was like, there's always a plan B. And guess what? Seth Rollins was that plan B. And Seth Rollins did the unthinkable by stabbing his brothers in the back. And I was shocked when that happened, because I was like, I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I was like, Seth, what the fuck are you doing? Those are your brothers. Well, not blood brothers, but those guys that had your back ever since y'all stepped foot in WWE. And since then, he hasn't even looked back, as he will go on to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then he had one of the greatest arguably the greatest cash in of all time, on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31. But before he did all that, let's get to the most diabolical things that Seth Rollins has done. 1, he threatened to paralyze Edge. I don't know if y'all remember this, but it was like on one episode of The Cutting Edge where he invited Seth Rollins as his guest, and then Seth Rollins did the unthinkable and he threatened to paralyze Edge. So before Edge was medically cleared to compete, he was forced to retire due to neck issues. And they said if he takes one blow to the neck, he'll be potentially paralyzed. And Seth Rollins, since he know about that, he did something real smart, as he took out Christian and then he threatened to curb stomp Edge. But the only way for him not to do that is that John Cena has to bring back the Authority before Seth Rollins does what he does. But Cena brought back the Authority, but Seth Rollins was like, I don't give a fuck, I'm still gonna stomp his head in. Luckily he didn't. And then, speaking of Edge, he had that great feud with Edge where he invaded this man's house. His house. Y'all want to talk about Edge invaded John Cena's house? No, Seth Rollins, that man was digging up in that man's refrigerator. That man was drinking up his orange juice. That man was eating all of his fruit. I was like, what the hell? Like, that shit is evil. And then, let's not forget that feud with Cody Rhodes, where he attacked that man with a sledgehammer. Brutally. On Cody Rhodes' injured pec after their Hell in a Cell match, which was a great match, by the way. So yeah, Seth Rollins, man, definitely deserves a spot on this list, just in my personal opinion. And coming in at number 9, we got CM Punk. Now look, I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan out there, but I like how he is. Great on the mic, great in the ring, even though his ring rust is kind of a little sus, especially today, as CM Punk is starting to get up there with age. But CM Punk is definitely one of the best in the business. And CM Punk, he just made his triumphant return a couple months ago, but he's going to be on SmackDown. But let's talk about the CM Punk as a WWE heel. Now, CM Punk as a heel, he was so damn great. Like, it started, I believe, in 2009, where he had that great feud with Jeff Hardy. One of the best feuds and one of the most underrated feuds, as the heel turn started when CM Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Jeff Hardy after Hardy won the championship, just to lose it to CM Punk. And CM Punk started getting nuclear heat because everybody was pro Jeff Hardy back then, including myself. And to be honest, I hated that motherfucker, not gonna lie, because I did not even see that coming. As CM Punk became public enemy number one on SmackDown, because everybody loved Jeff Hardy. Everybody just loved the guy. So that's why CM Punk started getting a little boos. And then once CM Punk and Jeff Hardy got done with their feud, CM Punk did one of the most disrespectful things in WWE history. As we all thought that Jeff Hardy was really not going to leave WWE, because let's not forget, before Jeff Hardy left, they had that steel cage match, and CM Punk was victorious, and Jeff Hardy gave a goodbye speech, and then CM Punk from out of nowhere clocked Jeff Hardy with the world title, and he was reigning in boos, including myself, not gonna lie. I was like, man, fuck this guy, bro. He got rid of my boy Jeff. And then the next week on Friday Night SmackDown, he came out with Jeff Hardy's gear on, bro. Jeff Hardy's gear on. And I was booing that man. Hell, I even threw one of my action figures at that TV, because I just hated the guy. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the crowd was pretty pissed too. And I don't blame them. So you got rid of our hero and now you're mocking him? I was like, man, forget this guy. And then that one feud with Rey Mysterio, where he diabolically sang happy birthday to Rey Mysterio's daughter in an evil way. And then the cherry on top, the feud with The Undertaker. That feud with The Undertaker, that gotten so personal that CM Punk used The Undertaker's urn, which contains the Undertaker's close friend and manager Paul Bearer. But CM Punk didn't give a fuck. He grabbed that urn and he started beating the crap out of The Undertaker. It was so bad that he even dumped some of that, ashes on The Undertaker. And I was like, oh my God. CM Punk is one evil bastard too. And people don't even notice this. But CM Punk is number 9 on my list. And coming in at number 8, we got the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Now look, Roman Reigns, sure, he doesn't have that much of a longevity as a heel, but Roman Reigns did some of his best damn work as a heel. As everybody was tired of babyface Roman Reigns because they kept pushing him to the moon, but fans weren't even having it. And he had that generic ass babyface run. And he even came out with the Shield entrance. I was like, man, something has to change. And thank God it did. Because after Roman Reigns left WWE for a little bit because of COVID, especially for his health, because he had leukemia, he came back. And we never seen this side of Roman Reigns ever, as he started beating the shit out of both Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. I was like, oh shit. Now this is the Roman Reigns we need. This guy right here, this is the heel we've been waiting for. And that was the heel that we'll be getting for the past 4.5 years. As Roman Reigns only came back because he wanted to be a heel. So Vince McMahon applauded and made him a heel. And he gave us some of the best storylines out there. The storyline with the Usos. That Hell in a Cell match with Jey Uso. Where things got so bad that, Jimmy came in. And he was like, we love you, man. But Roman was like, I don't give a fuck about that. And he started choking the shit out of Jimmy. And then that forced Jey to say, I quit. And I was like, whew, that was so damn good. Some of the best storylines out there. Then the Bloodline storyline where they were just taking out everybody. including Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. And let's not forget about that WrestleMania match with Cody Rhodes last year where they screwed him as well. Like Roman Reigns, he did a lot of diabolical stuff. I'm not saying it's like the stuff that a couple of other superstars I'm finna name later, but Roman Reigns, he did some of his best character work, and I gotta give him his respect. Along with his long title reign, 1,316 days, historic run. So say what you want about Roman Reigns, he definitely deserves a spot on this list, in my personal opinion. But coming in at number 7, we got Y2J himself, Chris Jericho. And look, Chris Jericho, as a heel or as a babyface, you could choose either or. He's good at either role. But I mostly prefer heel Chris Jericho. And I think that was some of his best work of his career. As in 2000, I believe, 2009, he had that legendary feud with Shawn Michaels. One of the best feuds of that year. And things got so personal because I believe it all started where HBK like faked the injury in his match against Batista. And then Chris Jericho kept calling him a liar, a pathetic worm of a human being, I believe. And then he proceeded to beat the shit out of HBK and then smashed his head through the Geritron. And I was like, damn. And then Chris Jericho started like morphing his character as he went from this Ayatollah of Rock'n'Rolla, the guy that's always hyped up, to a guy that barely even talks. Like talks slow and started wearing the suits. And he started talking like real slow, like a robot or something. And I was like, no, that is some great character work. And then he proceeded to punch Shawn Michaels' wife in the face. Legit. I know Jericho didn't mean to do that, but that even gave him more heel heat. And I was like, yeah, I like that. I fucking like that. And that got the feud even more personal. And I was like, damn, HBK is going to kill this nigga. And they had a couple of great matches. And it culminated in, I believe, a ladder match where, of course, Jericho won. And then he also had that great world title run. Some of the best work of Jericho's career. And he definitely deserves a spot on this list. And then let's not forget about that feud with Edge. That was a pretty solid feud as well. And a real underrated feud between him and CM Punk. Let's not forget when CM Punk, I believe, had like I believe it was his WWE championship run, the 434-day run. And Chris Jericho just came out and started talking about CM Punk's personal life. As he called his father an alcoholic. He called his sister a substance abuser. I was like, this motherfucker really don't care about life. So yeah, Jericho definitely deserves a spot on this list. And coming in at number 6, we got JBL. Yo, when I talk about JBL, man, you want to talk about one evil bastard? JBL fits that description perfectly. Now, I know a lot of people despised JBL back then, including myself. I couldn't stand that motherfucker. I know a lot of people didn't either. So let's talk about his career. He started off as Bradshaw, started off with the APA with Ron Simmons. And now he became this egomaniacal rich guy that comes out of limousines, wore that cowboy hat, and started becoming an entrepreneur. And then he started doing some diabolical shit. Like, let's not forget about that feud that he had with Eddie Guerrero, where he busted Eddie Guerrero open, which resulted to one of the most bloodiest matches of all time. And then, let's not forget, he gave Eddie Guerrero's mom a heart attack. A heart attack. Legit. I know JBL didn't mean to do that, but that was a legit heart attack. Like, JBL, he's been doing a lot of evil stuff back then. A lot of evil stuff. And then, let's not forget the most infamous segment in SmackDown history where I believe he was a part of that Mexican thing where he just drove off Mexicans across from the world or something. Like, he kicked them out of the border and he was like, get out of here, you Mexicans, get out of here. And I was like, this nigga JBL, bro, this man is so damn evil. And I was like, can he be stopped? And unfortunately, he was stopped by a one and only John Cena, as he had that one WWE Championship match with John Cena at WrestleMania. And then he had that I Quit match with John Cena, which was a great match. I hope y'all check that out. But yeah, JBL, he was one evil bastard. Like, for real. He did all of that. You definitely deserve a spot on this list. Like, for real. And coming in at number 5, we got the rated R superstar, Edge. Now, there's never been a superstar I hated more in my life than Edge back then. Like, Edge, when you talk about a slimy, sneaky piece of shit, an asshole, Edge fit that description. As it all started in 2005, where this man stole Matt Hardy's girl, Lita. And this wasn't just no storyline. This was real shit. Real stuff that happened. And that stuff was so bad that Matt Hardy was pissed and he got cut from the WWE. He lost his job because of that. And meanwhile, Edge and Lita will fall into the sunset and start rubbing in Matt Hardy's face. Like, this man just stole his girl, legit. And then WWE decided to make it a storyline between Edge and Matt Hardy. And that feud gotten so personal that they even tried to kill each other a couple of times. I remember Edge busted Matt Hardy open, made him bleed. And then Matt Hardy returned the favor. Like, wherever they go, it was on sight between those two. And then let's not forget about his feud with John Cena. Definitely one of my favorite feuds of all time, where he broke into John Cena's house and slapped his dad across the face. And I was like, if I'm John, I'm going to kill him. Like, legit, you don't put your hands on my dad. Fuck that. And then they culminated in that great TLC match. And then the feud that he had with The Undertaker, that was great as well. Where I believe he concerto Chavo Guerrero. And then he was even more disgusting when he even hooked up with Vicky Guerrero. I was like, oh my God. Like, he was even worse on SmackDown when he kept winning the World Heavyweight title. And he also had guys like Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder keep helping him win the damn title. And then with Vicky Guerrero, the general manager of SmackDown, Edge basically had all the power. Like, they kept screwing every single babyface on SmackDown. Either it was Batista, Rey Mysterio, Undertaker, anybody. Jeff Hardy, anybody. And I was like, oh my God, can somebody stop these guys? Like, please, can somebody stop them? Please. Anybody can stop these people? Like, Edge, man, he was one asshole. He was one slimy, slithering snake. And he was just so good at it. That's why they call him the ultimate opportunist. Because he was just that damn good. And then he cashed in on John Cena, who was a bloody mess. After that Elimination Chamber match, everybody was like, yeah, Cena won. And then Vince McMahon came out and was like, this man is going to be cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. And then you hear Edge's theme song. And Edge became the first man to cash in the Money in the Bank contract on John Cena. And ever since then, if you were a John Cena fan, you despised Edge. Like, for real. So Edge cracks my top 5 list. And cracks the entire top 10. And coming in at number 4, we got the big red machine, Kane. And now Kane as a heel, when you talk about a horror film, Kane definitely fits that description. As after Kane took off his mask, that man just went rogue. Like, he didn't give a fuck if you were a babyface or a heel. You are going to get killed. And Kane was on a murdering mission. Let's not forget about that feud that he had with Shane McMahon, where he electrocuted Shane McMahon's testicles, his testicles. And when I seen that, I was like, this guy is evil. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about nobody's health. No remorse. No remorse. Then let's not forget, I believe he even tried to burn RVD alive, but luckily he didn't. And then I remember he chokeslammed Eric Bischoff off the stage. Even though Eric Bischoff kind of deserved it because he was the reason why Kane had to take his mask off for real. Then let's not forget when I believe he tombstone Vince McMahon's wife onto the steel floor. Like Kane, man, he was one evil son of a bitch. The most infamous part about Kane's heel run, let's not forget about the time he set good old Jim Ross on fire. He set JR on fire. On fire. And all JR was doing is doing an interview with this sick freak. But Kane, he had no remorse. No type of remorse. He was like, fuck it. Keep making fun of me again, and I'm going to set you on fire, boy. And that's exactly what he did. So Kane, he didn't give a fuck who you are. He did not give a damn. He was either going to set you on fire, tombstone you off the stage, or put you in the blaze of fire. Like, he didn't even care. Didn't care. And then let's not forget about his feud with The Undertaker in the late 90s where he made his debut. So Kane definitely deserves a spot on this list, without question. And coming in at number 3, we got the Apex Predator, the Viper, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. Now look, Randy Orton is one of my favorite WWE superstars of all time, and even as a heel, I still fuck with Randy. But when you talk about a superstar with no remorse, no like psychopathic, a guy that ends careers, Randy Orton was that guy. And when I talk about the most evil things that a WWE superstar has done, Randy Orton has done a lot of evil things. Like his feud with The Undertaker, legendary feud, which catapulted Randy's career even more. The man set The Undertaker on fire when The Undertaker was in a casket. Let's not forget about the time where Undertaker, I believe, was in the back of a trunk of Eddie Guerrero's car, and Randy Orton backed that car up and drove it into the stage. And then Randy got up out of there and the car exploded. I know what y'all know what I'm talking about. Where Randy put that bitch in reverse with the Undertaker inside of the car, knocked out, and he drove into the stage, and the car started exploding. And then let's not forget about the time where him and Rey Mysterio had that segment after Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble match, and Randy said one of the most disgusting things in WWE history, as this man said, Eddie ain't in heaven, Eddie's down there in hell. And I was like, whew. Even though Randy didn't want to say it, but that was still not a great thing to say. And then let's not forget where he punk kicked John Cena's dad after he dragged John Cena's dad out the crowd and punk kicked him. Let's not forget about that either. And then the most disturbing and despicable thing that Randy Orton has done was in his feud against Triple H. And when I tell you guys, this was one of the greatest heel work I have ever seen in my entire life. One of the greatest heel works I ever seen. As this man punk kicked the boss, Vince McMahon. Legit, by the way. And then he punk kicked his son. And then he proceeded to hit Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon, with a RKO. With no remorse, no hesitation, Randy Orton hit her with the RKO. And I was like, yo, Triple H, man, this is no longer about the title. This is personal. And it got even more personal where Randy Orton handcuffed Triple H. And I know this episode y'all know I'm talking about. Handcuffed Triple H onto the ropes. Triple H was defenseless, couldn't do nothing. And then his wife came out, but Randy Orton was like, you still haven't learned. And then he proceeded to grab her by the neck and give her a DDT. Stephanie was out. Triple H was defenseless. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't save his wife. And Randy proceeded to grab the sledgehammer. And I thought he was about to kill her. But Randy did something even more diabolical. He did something even more despicable. More demonic. One of the most infamous things on Monday Night Raw, as this man Randy Orton proceeded to kiss Stephanie McMahon on the lips while Triple H was handcuffed. Triple H couldn't do nothing. And after that, this was no longer about the WWE title. This shit was personal. But too bad that the match at WrestleMania was so disappointing. And to be fair, they had to follow up on the HBK versus Undertaker match, which was a classic. But that match should have had something. Hell in a Cell. No holds barred. Last man standing match. Like, this was no longer about the title. This is about Triple H killing this man. That's it. And then let's not forget about Randy's late run with the Authority. And then the pandemic run where he brought back the Punk kick and that feud with Edge. He started punting every single legend that he's seen. So yeah, Randy Orton definitely deserves a spot on this list. And coming in at number 2, we got the Game, Triple H. Now look, I don't know, I didn't watch too much of Triple H as a bad guy, but when I watched some of the film, Triple H, he was the most despised wrestler out there, bro. I believe he has the record for the most hated wrestler in Pro Illustrated on the internet. That's how much everybody hated Triple H. I know a lot of people that was born in the 90s and early 2000s, including myself, hated Triple H. Well, I love Triple H, but Triple H from 2000, I believe 2001, from 2005 was the most hated wrestler ever. Ever. And if you were a Stone Cold fan or The Rock fan, you despise Triple H. As let's not forget, this man orchestrated the part where Stone Cold was hit by a car and Rikishi was the one who did it. But it was Triple H who set up the attack. It was Triple H who was the one who set up Stone Cold getting ran over. And then they had their intense feud. Then let's not forget about the feud that he had with The Rock. But his worst work has came during the Reign of Terror, where Triple H was basically holding Raw hostage. That man was just holding on to the world title. That man was burying everybody. Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Goldberg, damn near everybody. And then this man proceeded to beat the shit out of JR. And then let's not forget about the time where he kicked Randy Orton out of Evolution, where he gave him the thumbs up and then the thumbs down. And I was like, yo, this guy is so evil. Like, this man has stabbed his friends in the back. He didn't give a fuck who you are. And then let's not forget about that great feud with Shawn Michaels. Definitely one of the best feuds in the 2000s. So yeah, Triple H, he didn't give a fuck who you are. He'll stab you in the back anytime, anywhere. Let's not forget, he stabbed Ric Flair in the back. Started beating the shit out of him. And then, let's not forget, in the later part of his career with the Authority, where he tried to make Daniel Bryan's life a living hell. So yeah, Triple H definitely deserves a spot on this list. And coming in at number 1, is there really any debate who number one is? Like, come on, man. It is the former boss, the former chairman of the WWE, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vince McMahon is without a doubt the greatest heel in WWE history. And there's enough said. That's enough said right there. This man has done the most evil things out there. This man had his daughter kidnapped by The Undertaker. He was behind all of it. All of it. Let's not forget about the feud that he had with Stone Cold. Let's not forget about the time where he wore a fucking do-rag. And I was like, oh my God. This cannot be right. Like, this man's mission was to make everybody's life a living hell. Let's not forget about the feud that he had with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, D-Generation X, where he put Shawn Michaels and God in a tag team match against him and Shane McMahon. Like, this man, Vince, had no remorse. And then, let's not forget about his infamous, "You're fired." Like, this man did not care about your life. He did not care about your livelihood. All he cared about was making your life a living hell. So Vince McMahon is without a doubt the greatest heel of all time. But that concludes this video. What y'all think? Make sure y'all like this video. This your boy Lil Trady signing out. I'm out. Peace.